Hare Hare Shrimadbhagavatam Hamsafa Rajagacharya Astatarashita Shikha AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shrimadbhagavatam Hamsafa Rajagacharya Astatarashita Shikha His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Jai. Gandharaj Shrimadbhagavatam Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON Detroit's morning Bhagavatam program, Bhagavatam class. We will just recite a quick prayer before we start our reading of Shrimadbhagavatam. Narayana, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayudirye.
Tato Jayamudire.
Nashtapayeshu Bhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
So we are reading Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1. We are in Chapter 8, Prayers of Queen Kunti, and it's text 31 today, somehow. I apologize ahead of time because my Sanskrit is absolutely horrible, and this is a
doozy.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. So we will try our best. Gopiyadyate tvai kritagasi damatvad.
Gopyadade tvai kritagasi damatavad.
I will just repeat it 3 times. Gopiyadade tvai kritagasi damatvad.
Gopyadade tvai kritagasi damatavad.
Gopi adade tvai kritagasi damatvad.
Gopyadade tvai kritagasi damatvad.
Yate dasharu Kalilagna Sambramaksham.
Yate dashashru kalilanjana sambramaksham.
Yate dasharu kalilanga anga Sambramaksham.
Yate dashashru kalilanjana sambramaksham.
Yate dasasharu kalilanga Sambramaksham.
Yate dashashru kalilanjana sambramaksham.
Vaktram ninaya bhaya pavanai stitasya.
Vaktram ninyaya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya.
Vaktram ninaya bhaya bhavanai tasya.
Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya.
Vaktram ninaya bhaya bhavayana naya stitasya.
Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya.
Samamo vimoha yati api yad vibhate.
Sama vimohayati virapi yad viveti.
Sama vimohayati api yad vibhate.
Sama vimohayati virapi viveti.
Okay, so we'll try once all the way through too. Gopi adaya tvaikritava sidam tvad yate dasharu kalinjana brahmaskam. Vaktram ninaya vaya pavanaya stitasya samamavo vimoha yati abir apiyad viveti. Anyone would like to repeat?
Gopya dade tvai kritaga siddhama tvad.
Gopya dade tvai krita siddhamatat.
Yate jasashru kalilanjana sambramaksham.
Yate dasharu skalingan sambhamaksham.
Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya sitasya.
Vaktram ninaya vaya bhavanaya stitasya.
Sama vimohayati virapi yad viveti.
Sama vimohayati virapi yad viveti.
Gopya dade tvai kritaga siddhama tvad. Yate dasashru kalilanjana sambramaksham. Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya. Sama vimohayati virapi yad viveti.
Hare Krishna. So, word for word, Gopi,
Gopi,
the cowherd lady Yashoda,
the cowherd lady,
Adade, took up, Twai, on your Kritagasi, creating disturbances by breaking the butter pot, Dhamma, rope, Twat, at that time, Ya, that which, Te, your, Dasha, situation, Ashrukalila, over flooded with tears, Anjana, ointment, Sambrama, perturbed, Aksha, eyes, Vaktram, face, Niniya, downwards, Bhaya Bhavanaya, by thoughts of fear,
by thoughts of fear,
stitasya, of the situation, sa, that, mam, me, vimohati, bewilders, biapi, even fear personified, yat, whom, bibete, is afraid. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Please repeat. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense. And your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Jai. Purport. Here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only, and while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotees in a reverential mood, but the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. The Lord's pastime is the original abode of Golok Vrindavan are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna considered him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisement of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm of Goloka, Vrindavan, as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother, Yashoda. The Lord, in his natural childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stocked butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan, who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment for her transcendental child. She took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in the ordinary households. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep just like a child. And tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ointment smeared about his beautiful eyes. This picture of the Lord is adorned by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. He is feared often by fear personified, yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Therefore, Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Yashoda got the Lord as her child, and the Lord made her forget, Lord made her forget altogether that her child was the Lord himself. If Mother Yashoda had been conscious of the exalted position of the Lord, she would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord, but she was made to forget this situation because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Yashoda. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti, remembering the scene, was bewildered. She could do nothing but praise the transcendental full of love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, for she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child. Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sankhitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rukavad Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanustuti Devi Parnamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Name Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasavi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, reading the translation one more time. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight was bewildering to me. So these are the wonderful prayers of Queen Kunti that you all have been studying. So thank you for this opportunity to glorify Queen Kunti and how to pray and this most excellent, super excellent Krishna, Lord of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So please forgive me if I make any offenses during this time, as I do not know how to pray. So today I thought we would go over this particular verse, and there's three aspects that I wanted to kind of discuss. One was the supremacy and the opulence of Krishna. Then there's the devotional privileges that are possible to everybody. So we talked some about these devotional privileges. And then the last part was, sorry, I had to take notes for the importance of this unalloyed love. So his opulences, this privilege of devotional service, and the unalloyed love that can be experienced. So Srila Prabhupada had lectured on this particular verse in Los Angeles on April 23rd in 1973. So he gives a very beautiful lecture on this and very As Srila Prabhupada said, very concise and direct and sweet. So he says this is another opulence of Krishna. Krishna is full of 6 different kinds of opulences which we know. So he has all strength, all wealth, all fame, knowledge, beauty, renunciation. So he has all these opulences in full, right? Like in the material world, we may see people with certain opulences, but they don't have everything in full. Krishna has all 6 in full. So there's no other one. So there's no other personality, individual we will ever find in this material world or beyond that has all 6 except for Krishna in full. And in this particular verse, the opulence that is being described is Krishna's beauty. So as we can hear in the verse, right? So Krishna wants basically everyone. Just like we are offering obeisance to Krishna. We come into this temple room, we offer our obeisances. We offer it with this mood of awe and reverence, right? Or veneration. So we come here and we see Krishna in all its beauty and opulence and so much grandeur and exquisite detail, right? And stuff like that. So, but have you ever seen anyone come into the temple room with the rope in hand saying, Krishna, you are an offender. I shall bind you today, right? Like, who comes in here like that? Nobody. So, that is another prerogative, though, of the most perfect devotee, right? So, Krishna wants that. He has everything. He has all these opulences in full, right? There's nothing that Krishna needs, right? But what is it that he wants? Is this pure love from the devotees, right? That is like the opulence. So this is the position, we see him in this great awe and reverence, but, if a devotee comes in here with stick in hand, how would it be? So Kunti Devi now, she is thinking of Krishna in his opulence, right? She does not dare to think of Krishna like how Mother Yashoda could think of Krishna, right? Because Mother Yashoda is in a very different position. So it's not possible. So although Queen Kunti, she happens to be even a relative. She is an aunt. She's the aunt of Krishna, right? And stuff. But she does not have that privilege to be able to chastise Krishna, right? Because she sees him with this awe and reverence, with these opulences. This privilege is given to Mother Yashoda because she is that advance of a devotee, right? She's got that right to chastise the Supreme Lord. That is a very special prerogative, so please do not come in here with rope in hand and try to bind Krishna. So Kunti Devi is simply thinking of this privilege, that Mother Yashoda has, and how fortunate she is, and how privileged, that she has that could be able to threaten the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's feared by fear personified. Right? Krishna is the source of fear. Fear is scared of Krishna, right? Not Krishna is scared, should be fearful. So, and who is not afraid of Krishna, right? Like if Krishna walked into this room right now, like what would you do, right? And stuff like you'd probably be stunned or I don't know. So, but Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda, right? So this is the super excellence of Krishna. This is a relationship between Krishna and Mother Yashoda that is just beyond even the opulences that we can think of, right? So, and that is the privilege also of what we call this devotional service, right? Of a devotee. And this is all, this privilege, that has been given to Mother Yashoda. This is not a privilege just technically for Mother Yashoda. This privilege can also be given to any devotee, and it's possible for a devotee to experience this if their devotional service is done through sincerity. So let's see. So just like Krishna has another name. His name is Madan Mohan. Madan means Cupid. I don't know if you've heard of that word before. So Madan means Cupid. And Cupid, he enchants everybody, right? That's his position, to enchant everybody. And Krishna actually enchants Cupid, right? Cupid is enchanted by Krishna, and so forth. And therefore, Krishna's name is Madan Mohan. So he's so beautiful, right? Krishna is so beautiful that even Cupid is enchanted by him. Now, on the other side, Krishna, being as beautiful as he is, and even if Cupid is enchanted by him, Krishna is enchanted by Shrimati Radharani, right? So yes, therefore, Shrimati Radharani is named Madan Mohana Mohini, right? Because Krishna is actually enchanted by her. So Cupid is enchanted by Krishna, Krishna is enchanted by Shrimati Radharani. So Krishna is the enchanter of the Cupid, and Radharani is the enchanter of that enchanter. So this is a very high-grade spiritual understanding of Krishna consciousness. It's not fiction, it's not imagination, this is actually factual. And every devotee can have such a privilege if he actually advances in Krishna consciousness, right? Because Krishna becomes enchanted by his devotees. And it's possible, if we become sincere devotees of Krishna, that even Krishna would become enchanted, right, by us. So don't think that this privilege, which was given to Mother Yashoda, is not exactly like that. Everyone can have that privilege, but if you love Krishna, for example, as your child, then you will have such privileges. So let's break that down, right? Because Mother loves the most, right? Like, if we look in this material world and we try to just imagine what pure love would be, it is in this form of mother and child. So, as we look at this particular relationship, there's no exchange in this relationship, right? Even in this material world, a mother loves a child without any expectations of return. Although, well, generally, sometimes I know in this material world as, it's definitely influenced by Kali Yuga, it's polluted and so forth, and as a child may grow up to become a man or, grow up, there might be some thought with the mother that, oh, the child is growing up, he'll become a big man, he will earn some money and I shall get some of it, right? So sometimes there is that exchange in this material world. But if we think about it in the spiritual world, actually, there's no exchange in that sense, that I love you, you give me this, right? But while loving Krishna, there's no feeling of this exchange. This is called unalloyed love. Anya Bilashita Shunyam. It comes in Nectar of Devotion. Very famous verse, 1.111. So where this love is free from any material gain, right? So we should not love Krishna for some material gain. We come in here, put something in the hundi. Hey, Krishna, can you give me this? Can you give me that? This is not the kind of love that Krishna wants, right? Srila Prabhupada very famously says, and repeats many times in lectures and stuff, Krishna, give us your daily bread, then I will love you, right? This is not the exchange. So, we don't want this type of relationship with Krishna. This won't bring about that enchantment that we're seeing. In this time, or in this particular verse, right, we see that Krishna accepts the position of bowing before Mother. He understands that he's offended Mother Yashoda, right? Breaking the butter pots, feeding it to the monkeys, feeding it to his friends, right? Spoiling whatever hard work that has been done. So he knows he's offended and stuff. So he takes that position of bowing down in front of mother. So this is another one of Krishna's perfections, actually. That although he is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? Like in Bhagavad Gita, in verse 7:7, Krishna says, "My dear Arjun, there's no superior being above me. I am the supermost," right? Matha parataram nayak. There is nobody else. That is that supreme personality of Godhead, above whom there is none. That supreme personality of Godhead is bowing actually before Mother Yashoda. So think about, like, we can't even fathom who Krishna really is, but he is the supreme personality of God. He has all opulence. He has everything, but yet he puts himself in this position where he's bowing before Mother. Right? So even the humility, that takes place in bowing before, right? So he's accepting this. My dear mother, yes, I am an offender, right? With a feeling of fearfulness. Krishna doesn't need to be in this particular position, right? There's no fear necessary for him, but he's playing this beautiful role. And sometimes when Mother Yashoda used to see this child, she also becomes too much afraid, right? And she also becomes disturbed. Because if a child is disturbed, and this is just like in normal, even today's material psychology, right? There's some mental reaction. I remember when my children were little, we used to take them to the doctor's office, and if they had to get a shot, right, they would naturally start crying. And like I would even start crying, because seeing them disturbed, and stuff like that. Like my husband would always make fun of me because I cry at the drop of a hat and stuff. So seeing the child disturbed and crying, it brought tears to my own eyes and so forth. So this is very natural, right? Because there's this loving bond between child and mother. And so Mother Yashoda, she did not want that. She sees this fear in Krishna's eyes, right? And how disturbed he is. And so she did not want that. But actually Krishna, she was afraid that Krishna will suffer my punishment, right? So, but that was not Mother Yashoda's purpose, was not to, cause that. But as a motherly feeling, she had to do the punishment, right? But there was a type of play between them, right? But she also felt the disturbance of, disturbing Krishna. So it's such a beautiful pastime, this Damodar Leela, and the month of Kartik is coming up quickly. Next month, I believe it starts. So we will learn more and more, hear the glories of this particular pastime. So now, if we try to intellectually know Krishna, right, versus simply loving Krishna, what happens, right? So the system in India, still continues, so if the child is disturbing, he's bound up in a place, and this is very common, to show punishment, or in our day and time, we had timeout, you sit in the corner, right? Do not move, you're not allowed to go anywhere, right? And stuff like that. So, Mother Yashoda was doing this particular punishment. And so that scene is appreciated by pure devotees, that how much greatness there is in the Supreme Person, that he's playing exactly a perfect child, right? He succumbs to Mother Yashoda, he gets bound up and stuff like that. When he's playing like a child, he plays that perfectly, right? The Supreme Lord is playing that perfectly. And when, for example, he plays in the role of a husband, right? He has 16,000 wives in Dwarka, right? But he's playing that role as a husband perfectly, right? When he plays as a lover of the gopis, he was playing that perfectly. When he was the friend of the cowherd boys, he was also playing that perfectly, right? There was no like how we say in this material world, there were no I don't want to say disturbances, but there was just these relationships that Krishna has. They're all done in a perfect manner, right? Today's relationship, like between husband and wife, between friends, there's so many disturbances. There's so many things that can happen. And no one can be a perfect friend. No one can be the perfect husband, and so on. So, but these were all done perfectly by Krishna. The cowherd boys, they all depend on Krishna. So he showed in many different pastimes. So there was a pastime where they went to go taste the palm fruit trees, or fruits that were growing on the trees, and there was the demon, Denokusara, right? And stuff. And the asuras, the demons, the donkeys, they would not allow anyone to enter into this palm tree forest and stuff. But the boyfriends of Krishna, the cowherders, they requested Krishna, Krishna, we want to taste this fruit, if you can arrange it. And immediately Krishna was like, yes, why not? So immediately Krishna went with Balram to the forest, and the demons were there in their, as like the donkey shape. And immediately they started kicking Krishna and Balram with their hind legs. Like, how dare you enter my forest, And Balram captured one of them, right? Twirled him around and threw him high up into the trees, and the demon dies, right? So very much like this, the friends were so much obliged to Krishna. They were, they were always having these different pastimes. But Krishna perfectly played these different roles and pleased the friends, pleased the gopis, pleased whoever he was in a relationship with. There was also another pastime in which there was a fire all around. There was a forest fire, right? Just in short. So they did not know anything. Krishna, help us, help us. And Krishna was ready. Krishna immediately swallowed up the whole forest fire, right? And there were so many demons that had attacked Vrindavan. We read in Krishna book, right? It's such a wonderful book. So all these different pastimes. And every day, all the boys would go and they would come back home to their mothers and they would explain to them, oh, mother, Krishna is so wonderful, right? You see, this happened today, and this demon was killed, and that demon was killed, and we did this, and we did that. So, and the mothers would say, yes, yes, our Krishna is so wonderful. So much that they didn't even think of Krishna as God. They didn't think, oh, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's why this is being done, and that's why, they were just simply thinking Krishna is wonderful. And that's it, right? And in that way, thinking and hearing of Krishna, they increased their love for Krishna. The more they perceived Krishna's wonderful activities, the more they became a lover of Krishna. And that's why it's also so important for us to study these pastimes, to read Krishna book, to read Bhagavad Gita, because the more we hear about Krishna, the more we become in love with Krishna. And it's even so humorous in the fact that the personalities of Vrindavan, they would hear about all these stories, and even Nanda Maharaj would hear these pastimes, and he would be like, yeah, maybe perhaps he's some kind of demigod, right? And stuff. And Nanda Maharaj would talk amongst his friends about Krishna, and, oh, Nanda, your child is so wonderful, and yes, I see that, maybe he's some demigod, and stuff. But even that was a maybe, because they couldn't fathom, they could not see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? They just saw this wonderful Krishna. So the inhabitants of this Vrindavan, right, they did not care who is God, right? Who and who's not God and stuff. That was not their business, right? All they wanted to do is they wanted Krishna, and they wanted to enjoy and love Krishna. That's it, right? That's their mood. That's their position, and so forth. So for those who are thinking, let me analyze who is God, right? Let me see what is God. Who is God? Who is this, those that try to analyze God so much, these are not first-class devotees. Right? As Srila Prabhupada would say, these are not first-class devotees. Those who have got spontaneous love for Krishna, they are the ones who are first-class devotees. Yes. Anyhow, us being in the position that we are, how are we going to analyze Krishna? We don't even have the intelligence to analyze Krishna, to understand who is God, right? Like, what is the definition of God? He's unlimited. It's impossible for us to be in this type of position. So we should not even try to analyze God or to know Krishna. To study Krishna, we should do that through these bona fide scriptures, through Guru Parampara and so forth like that. But to fully know Krishna in our lifetime, it's not possible.
Right.
It's just not possible. But whatever Krishna, he reveals himself. And that is what is sufficient, right? So as we serve Krishna, as we read and we study and we take the lessons from our Guru Parampara, then we can start understanding who Krishna is and develop this love of Krishna. The Mayavadis, right, they're always trying to figure out who is God, right? Trying to figure out where is God, who is it? And they do not know. You know, even the scientists, they will get also involved and trying to figure out what is the ultimate cause of all causes, right? But their process is also not sufficient. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said, basically, Vantastukoti Satavatsara Sam Brahmagamayo. I will not be saying that properly. So what to speak of Krishna? Even this material object, they're trying to go. So Srila Prabhupada has always talked about like the journey to the moon planet, for example, right? Like how to go to the moon planet. And these scientists, they created all these machines, but they actually don't know what is the moon planet, right? So if they knew perfectly what it is, then they would have resided there by this time, actually. Because this is a higher, higher in the system. They are trying for the last 20 years plus, right? This is Srila Prabhupada speaking, simply by seeing that there's no living entity there, there's no possibility of living there. And so many of these things are going back and forth, And even the fact that there's only one planet or there's one star, and the moon planet is taken as a star, right? So even there's confusion on that among the scientific communities. They say that the stars are all the suns, but according to like Bhagavad Gita, we know that the moon actually reflects the sun, right? The light of the sun. And so, according to our calculations, there's only one sun. But the modern scientists say that there's so many suns and stars. But again, the Vedic philosophy of the astronomy and how it is represented in today's scientific world, it's just not possible for us to know. We cannot travel out there and see. We try, but we are very limited. So, Srila Prabhupada continues that in the Brahma Samhita, that space is very unlimited, right? This material world, we can't even get to the end of the material world, what to speak of the spiritual world that comes beyond it. So many things have been invented, and for many hours they have tried, in days and years, they've tried to understand, what is this planetary systems and so many things. But, even if we try to travel, right, the speed in which travel can happen, right, is not even like fathomable for us, right? So they talk about in the Brahma Samhita that the plane which runs on the velocity of the air, right, that's how fast the planes used to be. And even with that velocity, right, it would take millions and millions of years to approach Krishna. So it's not even possible. So to be able to approach Krishna, we can only do this through this unalloyed love, right? This ability to, if we try to understand Krishna, it's unlimited, right? Just like space is unlimited, everything is unlimited, right? So if we want to understand Krishna, we study these books, but then we come to a point of devotional service, right? If we learn to serve the devotees, learn to serve Krishna, then and then we can experience this relationship that is being built. These, if we look at this unalloyed love, so outside of Vrindavan, there was like Kunti Devi. You know, she was not an inhabitant of Vrindavan Dham and stuff. She resided in Hastinapur. And even though she was outside, if you look at all those devotees in the pastimes that come, they were actually studying the inhabitants of those that were in Vrindavan. You know, they would always be like, why does Krishna love the gopis so much? Why does, you know, like what happens in Vrindavan Dham, right? And stuff. They were always so curious. And they knew how great they were because of the relationship they had with Krishna. But the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they don't care how great Krishna is. They never thought of that. And so that's kind of the difference, right? Outside of Vrindavan, we're always like, oh, you know, the greatness of Krishna and so forth. But inside Vrindavan Dham, they have that relationship where they don't even think about how great Krishna is. They see him as a child or a friend or a lover.
Yeah, Krishna's friends.
Yes. So our business is simply to love Krishna. The more you love Krishna, the more you become perfect. It is not that it's necessary to understand Krishna, how he is created, how things have been created. Krishna explains himself in Bhagavad Gita, what we need to know. So don't bother, this is Srila Prabhupada, don't bother very much to know Krishna. That is not possible. Simply increase your unalloyed love for Krishna. That is perfection of life. So we have to try to follow these things so that we can develop this unalloyed love for Krishna. You know, to not have these material attachments, to serve Krishna in a way that's favorable, to not do things that are unfavorable to Krishna. In this way, as we continue our progress, we will develop this relationship with Krishna. There are some, quotes from this particular verse that I thought that were interesting, and they had some takeaways and practices that we can also follow. So I thought in the last few minutes, maybe I can talk about a few of those things too. So on the part about the Supreme Lord being afraid, right? So although Krishna is feared by fear personified, still he is afraid of his mother Yashoda. This is Krishna's special mercy. So one thing we can understand is that Krishna is Bhagwan, he's the supreme controller, yet somehow becomes subordinate to pure love. And even God bows before love, right? So during our meditation, when we chant our japa, for example, one practical thing we can do is like, think about like, Krishna, please let me love you like how Mother Yashoda, without fear or selfish desire. So by understanding some of these pastimes of Krishna, we can try to figure out how practically we can involve that in our daily practices. So one way is to think of this pastime during our japa time and how we can develop this love that Mother Yashoda had. Another thing is the whole spontaneous devotion. We talked a lot about the spontaneous love for Krishna. So the residents of Vrindavan, they did not know that Krishna was God. They simply loved him. That's all, right? So here, bhakti is not knowing God as God. right? It's about knowing him as your beloved, right? This is to get to this higher position, right? So again, when we're chanting, or if we see Krishna's image, we can try to understand who Krishna is and try to relate with him. We serve Krishna in this mood of awe and reverence because it's difficult for us to understand Krishna as a child, as a friend, as a beloved. We don't want to make offenses, all right, and stuff. So, but he's not abstract. We know that, right? He has a form, a position, and so forth. So when we chant, when we see Krishna's image, when we take darshan of him, we can try to think of these pastimes and the loving relationships and understand that this is the advancement we're trying to get to. And from the intellectual knowledge versus bhakti, it's not possible to understand Krishna or understand God simply by speculation. It's better to love him. So Prabhupada repeatedly warned about over-intellectualism. Bhakti begins where the argument ends, right? But what about this? But what is this? And stuff like that. Yes, you should not follow blindly. Never follow blindly. You should understand and get your questions answered. But at the same time, understand that you will never understand Krishna fully, right? And stuff. So come to a point where you have strong faith, but then you serve Krishna. And a lot of times, it happens, like it says, as an exercise, if you start overthinking about your spiritual life, many people question, am I doing this right? What is the logic behind this? Is simply learn to offer a heartfelt prayer, right? We learn from Queen Kunti, we offer these prayers, please accept my service. Please accept whatever I've done, even though it's with fault and stuff. I cannot serve you perfectly. Please accept it because I'm trying to do it out of love. If we have that mindset and that mood, right? And if we do everything for Krishna in that mindset and that mood, right? We try to be perfect. We don't try to make mistakes and stuff, but it happens. We're fallible, not infallible. So that's one prayer we can think of. And then there's one where it's Mother Yashoda's unique position. We cannot become Mother Yashoda. Although we say mother-child relationship, we are not anywhere near Mother Yashoda, and nor can we become. So Mother Yashoda was thinking, if I do not punish my child, he will become spoiled, right? Any mother, if I don't, punish my child, no, don't, do that, he's going to become spoiled or he won't learn properly and stuff like that. This is love, right? Anytime there's any kind of punishment, it's out of love and stuff. But her love was so deep, she didn't think of Krishna as God, right? She thought simply, this is my son, and I must raise him properly and stuff. So when we're doing our service, we can maybe practically think that, for example, for those of you in cooking service, right, and stuff, when you're offering bhoga, or making the bhoga, am I serving you like a dutiful parent? Am I concerned for your joy? Whatever I'm making, am I making the best for you? Is this something you are going to get pleasure out of? We don't look for our own pleasure, right, when serving a child. At the same time, when we're serving Krishna, we don't look for our own pleasure. How best can I serve you? And what will make you happy, right? Because that's the only thing that a parent wants to do is make their child happy. So, and then finally, the sweetness of this Vrindavan Bhakti, right, which is so different from outside of Vrindavan. So, such beautiful dealings are possible only in this pure bhakti, right, this unalloyed devotion. So, in this unalloyed devotion, no material qualification is needed to taste the sweetness. And when I'm sure in your service, at one point or another, you have gotten a glimpse of this, right, where it's just so sweet. So the sincerity, the purification that we go through and stuff, the sweetness will become more and more. So again, during either our japa or when we're sitting in kirtan, on Sundays they have such beautiful kirtan here, and stuff. We can quietly even say in our heart, please remove all this impurities within my heart, and so that I can learn to love you purely, right? If we do our japa, if we do hear our kirtan in that mood and stuff like that, let me clear and cleanse all these things that are within my heart so that I can love you purely. It's just another mood we can take, because it was just pure love within that. So I thought that was some nice takeaways that we can have, like how to practically apply these things that we are hearing in Bhagavatam, especially when it comes to these pastimes. So thank you so much for your tolerance, your patience and stuff. It's been a while since I've given class, so if there's any questions or corrections and stuff, please.
I just have a common realization. It's so nice in this philosophy that Krishna accepts our human frailty right off the bat, and we're not condemned for our human frailty. We're not punished for our human frailty. Krishna knows we're going to make bad decisions, but he doesn't punish us for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In all these other philosophies, when you make a mistake, that's damnation. And a lot of times parts of it is unforgivable.
Yeah.
And that's just not love of God.
Yeah.
It's really not. I don't know, it's just so beautiful the way Krishna is so accepting of our human condition and makes every amends. I mean, the whole point of the Bhagavad Gita is to tell you what to do, but then in the end, he says, do what you want to do. You do you.
Yeah.
Not do this or you're going to spend eternity burning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
the approach.
How, I think you're probably pointing this out. How could you punish your own child to eternal hell for making a mistake? How can you do that? You can't. That's not love.
Yeah.
That's not love. I don't know what that is, but it's not love of God.
Yeah. You can't force anyone to love. You can't force anyone to love. And love has to... Now, we have to be careful in the sense that if you knowingly, and if you do something, there's the law of karma.
Yes, absolutely.
And we are bound by the laws of karma. So we do receive punishment.
The karma is up to you.
Because we have that free will.
Yes.
Every soul has that free will.
Christianity claims to have that free will, but it's not. It's a fallacy. You don't have free will. It's hook, line, and sinker or nothing. Yeah. It's hook, line, and sinker or you're going to hell. Yeah. And I hate to keep gravitating toward that, but it's just realizing the beauty in this philosophy. Yeah. It's just amazing. It just gets more beautiful at every turn.
Yeah. No, it is very... We can't even fathom the amount of love there is.
No.
If...
And that's intimidating to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It can be very intimidating.
Yeah.
Can I let myself do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fully love. It says, when we are, the heart is compared to almost like a rock solid piece of coal, right? But by the cleansing of chanting of the holy names, by the association of devotion, by eating this Krishna Prasadam, by all these acts of devotional service, right? The heart, when it comes and becomes pure bhakti, it's like butter, where you can just put a knife and it'll just sink right through the butter. Right? That's how soft our heart becomes. And yes, it can be intimidating, because we live in a world where it's like, if you show that kind of affection, love, emotion, softness, feeling, whatever, it's sometimes it's a weakness.
Yes.
It's a weakness, where actually it's the most beautiful thing, and it uplifts everyone and anyone around you as well too. So it's it's a unfortunate situation that we're in this particular world, but at the same time, if we take comfort in Krishna, if we take comfort in our Guru Parampara, who has demonstrated this time and time again, the amount of compassion and love, for example, that Srila Prabhupada had, it's unfathomable to me even, like, you know, to take that sacrifice to come over on a cargo ship to Artax, have nothing, build a society, for what?
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that. There was nothing, there was
It's
no...
not like it made him rich.
No, he had nothing to his name, right? And stuff. He did that purely
Nothing but knowledge.
out of love. I mean, that's love, right?
Pure love.
So, I mean, it's just
Love supreme.
very supreme.
Causeless mercy.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if it's good enough for George Harrison, it's good enough for me. He could pick any religion in the world, and he chose this, so that tells me something right there. I've always been in love with George Harrison, and when I found out how much affiliation he had with the Krishna conscious movement, I was just like, no wonder I love him.
Yeah. No, but that's the beauty of the heart.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And that's the beauty of Krishna, full of all beauty, right? That's his affluence. That's what this verse is about. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
Thanks for
questions?
the
Very
class.
nice.
Excuse me for being late.
Oh,
I was up till about 4 this morning.
oh, Krishna. You're always cleaning the temple.
Hey, I have a question. While I have the four of us together, can you guys help me move those tables real quick? Okay.
Who's that going to show?
Oh.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Prabhu, he has one question. He has one.
I remembered one thing, Mother. Like,
Yeah.
Damodar Leela, Mother Yashoda brings the rope to bind Krishna.
Yeah.
But every time she tries to bind Krishna, there were 2 inches short. The 2 inches, like the Aishwarya Shakti of Krishna doesn't let Mother Yashoda to bind him.
Yeah.
She tries, attaches the rope, gets, but she eventually she gets tired and she says, Krishna, I'm tired of trying to bind you. So that 2 inches resemble, one is our attempt and second one is mercy of Krishna.
Yeah.
So those 2 are important. Then Krishna's Kripa Shakti allows Mother Yashoda to bind in rope.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And this forgetfulness that happens in Vrindavan Dham, right? Because there's Mahamaya and then there's so the Maya, they're also in Maya, but it's a different
Krishna.
one. Yeah. And stuff. So Krishna wants them to forget that he is God, right? Even though he is and stuff, so that they can have that kind of loving relationship. So that's a whole different realm too. So yeah, in the month of Kartik, there'll be wonderful stories.
Yeah.
So many pastimes and stuff we
I love that.
can learn. Thank you so much for your realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Grantharaj, Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.